Right, I'm going to do a video on adjusting the trigger on BSA PCPs. This will be the R-10, the Scorpion SE, Ultra SE and some of the older models. Right, first thing you want to do is make sure your rifle is safe and not loaded. Obviously this one is, there's no bottle or anything attached to it. Right, this particular trigger is not very well set. It's cocked and okay, the safety's on, as you can see there. It's not firing when you pull it, which is great. Take the safety off, it does fire, but what you probably can't pick up on the camera is that there's a load of creep on that. I mean, if you tried to shoot with that much creep, chances are your accuracy wouldn't be very good, because you'd be pulling the gun down when you're trying to pull the trigger. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to adjust the first stage and the second stage. One reason being, there's the trigger. You can see the gap between the that little bar that flips over when I do the safety. There's a gap in there. So there we go. You can see the gap there, which is all first stage, and it's not really doing anything. So what I'm going to do here, a little, I can't remember what it is, I think it's a 1.5mm Allen key, goes in, there's a little grub screw inside there, just in front of the trigger blade. Pop your grub screw in there, the Allen key in there. Right, and then tighten that, and as you tighten it you'll notice that gap gets smaller. I'm going to go until it's almost touching the bar, but there's still enough space for the bar to open and close. If you go too far, you really can't do the bar, or you may be able to take the safety off, but you won't be able to put it back on. So obviously that's adjusted too far. So dial it back a bit, allow enough space for the safety to work, and there's not a huge amount of first stage on there at the moment. Right, next thing, second stage. Obviously we've just adjusted that. I'm pulling it, safety's on, it's not firing, so that's a good thing. Right, safety off, pull it. There's a good, I don't know, maybe 1.5 mm, 2 mils of creep on that. And the creep's basically the sear engagement. The sears, trigger sears latch when you pull the bolt back, and when you pull the trigger, the sears pull apart and then the rifle fires. So what you want to do is get a 5.5mm spanner, or you could use an adjustable, and loosen off the little lock nut that's on this grub screw. It's just a little lock nut. Then you want your, I think it's a 1.5mm Allen key, and in this case we want to reduce the sear engagement, or the amount of creep. So we want to turn it clockwise. Turning it clockwise reduces the amount of sear engagement. Right, so I'll pull the bolt back and see there's still quite a bit there. So I'm going to give it another, I'm going to go quite a bit because there's loads of sear engagement. Let's try it now. That's much better. Still a little bit too much. Still a bit too much. A little bit more. It's much better. Right, I'm happy with that. So what you want to do is keep the Allen key in the grub screw and hold it, and then tighten the lock nut back up. This just stops the screw from turning when you tighten the lock nut and readjusting the trigger. Now that we've done that, just double check that it's still okay. Fine, and make sure that with the safety engaged, the trigger's not really, it's not letting the rifle fire. Safety off, fire, So there we go, we've adjusted first stage and second stage. Obviously be careful, because if you set your trigger too light, there's a chance that your rifle could go off unexpectedly and you could end up shooting somebody or yourself, which is obviously not good. And also don't over adjust anything, otherwise your safety won't work, and like I said, it could be unsafe. And obviously do this at your own risk. You know, if you are in any doubt, get it sorted out by somebody who knows what they're doing. Thank you.